Good evening and welcome back to our weekly question and answer series for Anash.org. Question: I'm flying to the UK on Halacha. Is there anything I need to know and be concerned? Yes, it's very important that a person, when he buys a ticket, or at least when he sells his chumutz, he should say with his mouth that I don't want to be koina anything which will come in my possession on Pesach. Because when you purchase a ticket, the airline is obligated to give you a meal. So they will buy a meal for you, they'll give it for you. Now, if you'll take it and dump it, basically you are koine the chumutz, and then you have a chiyuv and a mitzvah to burn the chumutz, because Pesach, if you find chumutz, you have to burn it, or at least put it in a place today's day when they write that that all the chumutz which is in my possession is sold for the goy. So if you find chumutz during Chol Hamoed, you gotta take it through a stick or a shovel. You cannot take it with your hands, and place it into a place which is sold for the goy. But on the airplane, when you get a new chumutz which is not in the shtar machiras chumutz, and you cannot burn it, so some people, when they get their meal and they see it's chumutz, they take it and throw it in the garbage. But that's a problem, because you have chumutz in your possession. So if a person knows he's going to travel on Chol Hamoed, he should say before Pesach, before it comes the Zman Isser of Achilas Chumutz, that I don't want to be koina any chumutz which will come in my way. Not chumutz which will come through flying, and not chumutz which will come in the mailbox. Because sometimes companies send tiny pieces of samples, and also might be chumutz. So a person has to say beforehand, I don't want to be koina any chumutz which come to me. And it's very important, because a lot of people say, which I heard already, that they said that I was flying and they gave me a meal and I saw it's a chumutz, I just threw it in the garbage. But that's not good enough, because it's your chumutz which you threw in the garbage. So you have to say beforehand, all the chumutz which is going to come towards me, somebody's going to give it to me, or it's going to be delivered, or someone is going to give it to me. I don't want to be koina it at all. So therefore, you have no problem of the airline buying a meal for you, and you just tell them, I don't need it. I don't need that meal. Question: as we get closer to Pesach, I have the same question like last year concerning vitamin C and D and zinc. They are not chomutz, but they are kidneys. What is the status that could we take it or not? And the minik, which is ungenehmer by the poskim, that if a person needs to take the vitamins, which is not chomutz, it's kidneys. If he needs it because he has a sickness and he needs it for the refuah gif to heal himself, then you could be lenient and take vitamins which has only kidneys and not chomutz. But if a person wants to take vitamins only because he takes every day of the year, and that will make him stronger his immune system or give him more energy, but he has no sickness, and if he will not take it, nothing will happen. Even it's only kidneys, you don't eat and take vitamins which is from kidneys. So I would say most of the vitamins are from kidneys, not from chomutz, but again, you have to check it out beforehand. So only if you take it because you have some kind of sickness, refuah give, then you take it. If not, just to take vitamins because you take every day during the year, you don't take vitamins on Pesach. Question: I started realizing now that I'm cleaning for Pesach, that when I clean lower shelves or cabinets, I'm kneeling on the floor. is it a problem? Does it make a difference if it's tiles or not tiles? What about when I wash my kitchen and bathroom floor on my hands and knees? Now, the halacha is a person is not permitted to bow and leishtachvois on a stone when he's like all the way bepishiti daim reglaim. It means when he is all the way lying on the floor. So you cannot lie on the floor kneeling bepishiti daim reglaim. That means with your hands and your feet stretched out on a stone. That's osir min hatoira. If it is not stone, so it is me'ikar adin, not a problem, even if he lies bepishiti daim reglaim. That means the whole body is lying on that floor because it's not stone. That means if it's parquet or linoleum or anything else, it's not a problem. Some poskim say that it's still osir midrabonon because we are afraid maybe you're going to do it also on stone. But that's only when it's bepishiti daim reglaim all the way. If only kneeling, so and it's not bepishiti daim reglaim, and it's not stone, me'ikar adin, it's not a problem. Yes, there's a minig yisruel, you should kneel even on parquet or other kind of things, but me'ikar adin, it's not a problem. So again, when it comes to stone, it is a problem, bepishiti daim reglaim, when you stretch all the way. And if it's not all the way stretched, it's also midrabonon. If it is other kind of floors, it's not a problem, me'ikar adin, even when it is total pishiti daim reglaim. Now, tiles or bricks, which is made, man-made, is not considered stone. The same will go to tiles. The tiles today's day is considered cheres because it's made, it's man-made. They take grinded stones and they make a tile and they make a brick. So me'ikar adin, it's not a problem. Where it comes in the problem is if you have granite or marble, which that's already a piece of stone, and this, it is a problem already because that's a stone, that's considered a stone. So to answer your question, minig yisruel to make sure you don't kneel all the way, even if it's not stone. But me'ikar adin, if it's not stone, it's not a problem. The same will go also if it is tiles, that's not considered stone, then you could kneel over there. But if it is stone mamash, granite, marble, etc., you have a serious problem kneeling on the floor, or medaraisa when it's bepishiti daim reglaim all the way, the whole body, or when it's only kneeling, then it's at least also midrabonon. If you want to look more into this whole subject, there's a Tshiva Sefer which is called Tshivas Yisruel Siman Pai, which has a whole long discussion on kneeling. And over there you're going to find all kind of protoputim, all the shittas. But this is just to sum up how it is lesikum the halacha. But it's kedai, if you can, you should always kneel on a piece of paper or on a towel, and then the chaladais, you have no issue even on granite and marble. Just want to bring to the attention a couple of halachas, which is Nageya this year, Pesach, which falls on Shabbos. So Erev Shabbos, you have to make sure to make all the stuff which you need for the Seder. That means salt water, charoises, grinding the muroir, making, frying, not frying, broiling the zroya. All these things has to be done Erev Pesach, because at night is Shabbos and you cannot do all these things. If a person forgot to do these things, so when it comes to salt water, then he can make it on Shabbos only as much as he needs for the first day. He cannot make that he should also be for the second day, but that's already achona mishabbos leyontov, mishabbos miyom rishon liyom shayni. So he has to only make as much as he needs for the first day, and he has to make a shini. That means he should change how he does it regularly. That means if regularly he puts in first the salt and afterwards the water, now we should put in first the water and then the salt in order to be a shini. If a person did not check the letters Erev Shabbos, now he could check it on Shabbos, but if he finds a worm, he should not take off the worm because that's a problem of boirer. He should take off the worm together with a piece of leather, with the aroma leather, because then you take off the psoilus together with the oichel. But if you're going to take off only the worm, then you're going to take out the psoilus from the oichel, and that's also to do on Shabbos. If a person forgot to grind the chrein, then he cannot grind it on Shabbos. He could use a knife to cut it to tiny pieces, but he cannot use the regular hand grinder which he uses Erev Yom Tov. The same thing will also go if he forgets to make charoises, then he should only cut it with a knife and not with any utensils or whatever which is made for cutting special fruits, and he should make it a little bit bigger. The pieces should be a little bit bigger than regularly, not tiny pieces. And it's also kedai that when he mixes together, he should not mix it with a spoon, only with his fingers, or through the he should shake the kli where all the stuff is and not use a spoon. And when he wants to put in wine, he should also make it bishini. And if a person forgot to broil his zeroya Erev Shabbos, he has no option to broil it on Shabbos, kaposhet. So then he should take a zeroya which is cooked, or if he doesn't have, he should take any cooked piece of chicken, and that will be good for the zeroya zaychel korban Pesach. Another thing which is very important to note: people are going chalamoid to the zoo, petting zoo, and over there you could purchase food for the animals. A lot of times the food is chometz. So when you purchase that food in order to give it for an animal, you are purchasing chometz and Pesach. So therefore you should make sure not to purchase chometz or not to purchase food at all for the petting zoo, because you're going into a serious problem of buying chometz and Pesach, which you're over of a iser, the reis of bal yiru bal yimutza. Let's talk one final thing which is very important. This year, Shvi Pesach is Friday, and Achar Pesach is Shabbos. So usually we make the knedlach, which is gebrox. We do make it on Achar Pesach. We make it on Achar Pesach, then we make already gebrox. Now, this year, when Achar Pesach is Shabbos, you cannot make knedlach on Shabbos. So you got to do it beforehand. Do you make knedlach for this year, or this year you go away with this minhag? Now, on Oitzim Merugi Chabad, page Reish Chof Hai, 225, Os Tes, he brings down that 1 year it happened, it fell Achar Pesach on Shabbos like this year, and they didn't make Knedlich for Achasha Pesach. And the Rebbe asked, what's going on? Where's the Knedlich? And they answered, they thought that since this year is Shabbos, Achasha Pesach, and you don't want to make the Knedlich on Shvisha Pesach or on Chalamoid, so therefore, they didn't make Knedlich. And the Rebbe was not happy about it. So basically, we still make Knedlich and Chremslich for Achasha Pesach, but we don't do it on the Shabbos. We could do it on Shvisha Pesach. This is how most people do it, on Shvisha Pesach. Now the question is, how could you do it on Shvisha Pesach? We know, in order you should be able to cook from Friday, which is Yom Tov, Shvisha Pesach, for Shabbos, you have to make Erev Tavshilin. And we make Erev Tavshilin this year, before Shvisha Pesach, in order we should be able to cook Shvisha Pesach to warm up for Shabbos. Now the concept of Erev Tavshilin is that why could I do it? Because since Minat Torah, it's not a problem to make food on the Shvisha Pesach, because you never know if you might get guest, and if you get guest which will pop into you, you'll eat it on the Shvisha Pesach. So it's not as if you made it for Achasha Pesach. It is rui that you should eat it on Shvisha Pesach if you have guest. So that's the concept of Erev Tavshil. Now the problem is, when it comes to Chreidach and Kremslach, that basically, since we don't eat this on Shvisha Pesach, so we don't have this heter. So how is the heter, what's the heter, that we should make Kneidlach Shvisha Pesach when we are making a chana from Yom Tov of Shabbos, and we don't have the heter of Erev Tavshilin, because Erev Tavshilin is only someone can eat it. But since in our household and in our area which we live, nobody will eat gebroxt on Yom Tov. So therefore, what is the heter that we could make Kneidlach on Shvisha Pesach? And the answer is that since there still are people who do eat gebrox on Pesach, now although they might not live in my area, but since it's ruah for someone else, which he can eat it by biyam, so therefore it is not a problem. Because although in our household no one is going to eat it, but since a person could pop in and he could come in our area, so therefore we have no problem of making it because of a chana. That's one problem which you had making Kneidlach on Shvisha Pesach, and the solution to it and the answer to it. Now there's another reason also why we don't make gebrokt Shvisha Pesach, because we are afraid if you're going to make Shvisha Pesach the Kneidlach and the Chremslach, maybe you're going to come to eat it also in Shvisha Pesach. So this chashash we still have. If you are matter to make Shvisha Pesach Kneidlach and Chremslach, we have a problem. Maybe he's going to eat it on Shvisha Pesach. And for this, the answer is the Marsham in the Haguas, in the Astoire, writes in the beginning of Siman Tuf Kiv Chov Zayin, that whenever it is, the Isser is only a Chumrah, we are not afraid that he's going to come to eat it. Because even if he's going to eat it, it's not Me'ikar Adin only Mechimra. So although we don't make things which we are afraid we're going to eat it, but since Gebrokt is only a Chumrah, so therefore we are matter to make it on Shvisha Pesach, because even if he's going to eat it, still it's only a Chimra. And this is also how the Meches Yitzchak in Chaylik Zayin Simon Amud Gimel answers this question of how we could make Kneidlach Shvisha Pesach. Another problem which we have while making Kneidlach Shvisha Pesach is the problem of Muktzah. Because since we are not going to eat it, and we are machmer not to eat Kneidlach, so it's not true to eat, So it's not new for anything. So how could we touch it? How could we make it? It's a problem of miktzah. And it's interesting that the Chubin Ruf and his Shiva Sefer says that you shouldn't make it the Shvisha Paisach because you have a problem of muktzah. The other problems, he's not concerned, but he's concerned of miktzah. So therefore, he said, don't make it a Shvisha Paisach, make it Chalamoid. But other poskim say, the same as we answered before, since Me'ikir Adin, a person is permitted to eat gebrocks, it is only a chimra ba'alma. So therefore, since there are people who do eat it, it's not miktzah. As we know that in Hilchas Miktzah is halacha that if you have something which is ruah for some people, although it's not ruah for you, it doesn't become miktzah even for you. So therefore, since the whole inyan of not eating gebrocks, Shvisha Paisach is only a chimra, and we mentioned before, some people do eat gebrocks. So therefore, it's not a problem of miktzah, and therefore, we could make the chremzich and the kneidlich and the Shvisha Paisach kemiven if we made the Erev Tavshil. But some people are machmar, they don't do it on Shvisha Paisach, and they do it on Chalamoid. Because then you don't have the problem of cooking from Yom Tov and Shabbos, you don't have the problem of miktzah, and therefore they are doing it on Shvisha Paisach. And a minority of people do not make in such a year B'chlal Chremzach Kneidlich. But as I mentioned before, as it states in Oitzim Rugi Chabad, by us the minig Chabad is that we do make Kneidlich and Chremzach even such a year like this. So if a person wants to do it at Chalamoid, is avadigit, and if he doesn't want, he wants to do it Shvisha Paisach, and since he made the Erev Tavshil, he could do it on Shvisha Paisach, and it's not a problem. Okay, thank you for joining us, and have a Chak Kusha V'Samayach, a wonderful week and a wonderful Yom Tov.